And welcome back to techgooch. Here I'm back with another video review, and this is one of those, since we're now into the winter months basically, I thought I'd do a review on a heater that I purchased actually last year. So I've actually used this on and off in several different circumstances. But this is the Vornado. It's actually the VMH 600. They also make a VMH 500. As far as I can tell, the only difference is this one has the stainless steel housing. The 500 is plastic, and you can save yourself about 30 bucks if you go the plastic version versus the stainless steel version. I was looking more for the robustness and because I bought this for use for a long period of time. But that said, that's the box comes in cube, right? Simple. Tells you about how the Vornado technology works. If you've ever had a Vornado fan, similarly, this is going to push heat in a direction and allow it to kind of spiral through the room, so it actually does heat up the entire room rather than just a spot in the room, like a lot of ceramic type heaters do. Ceramic heaters are great, but you really have to be near them to feel them. This is a little bit different, and it really does work. Now, I bought this. It's a $150 heater. 130 bucks if you did, or 120 bucks, sorry, if you do the plastic one. But I bought this actually because my furnace went down. And so I kind of needed a heater to keep the house to a certain temperature. Now, it wasn't winter quite yet, but it was getting colder outside. You could definitely feel it. So I thought I'd get a decent heater, and then I could move it around the house as I needed to. So this is what I actually ended up getting. And it heated a decent amount of my house, actually, at the temperature that it was running at. It is digital controlled, so you set a temperature. You do have a remote that it comes with as well, that you can set the temperature and power on and off. And I'll show you that here in a moment. I'll get a little bit closer so you can actually see the controls. But you set temperature. It does have a high, low, and fan-only mode. So if you just want to stir air, you can just use fan. The low setting is a 750 watt heater. High setting is a 1500 watt heater. And yes, you will be able to tell the difference. Now, I've actually used this in a couple circumstances that you probably shouldn't. I actually was out at a job site that I work, and during lunch breaks, I sit in my car. Well, I decided I'll plug that in, I'll put all the seats down so it was a big open area in my vehicle, my Jeep, and put it in the back, away from everything, so I didn't have to worry about anything, getting too hot or anything. And used it to heat my vehicle while I was eating lunch, so that I could stay warm and not have to run my engine. And it worked awesome for that too. And it was very efficient. So that's the whole thing about this thing. It's efficient for what it is. Really is. It actually spits air really well. But that's that Vornado fan technology that's built into it. And the heat is very even and very comfortable heat. So I'm going to show you the controls. Let's get a little bit closer so you can actually see those, and then we'll go from there. So first, without the remote, let me tilt it toward you here. Sorry that the scratches. Oh, there's also a tilt some function. So if you notice that light go off, you can hear it. Hear that click? There's a tilt function where if you're at a tilt, it will not work. So it's actually designed so it turns itself off. But there's just a touch button up here, and that touch button sets on and off. So let me get the camera in it a little bit better. All right, so it's all touch function. So this is the power button. As you can see here, if I click it, everything will come to life. And now we have a minus and a plus, and that's for setting the temperature. You can see right now we're on high, 65 degrees. We can actually set the heat by just clicking the right here. Now it's fan only, low, high. The plus and minus obviously to set the temperature of the room. So we have it set to actually 80. Let's bring that down. We don't need it that high. I don't know why it was set that high. But let's say 70 degrees. And then once it does its thing, its flashy thing, it'll tell you we have it set to 70 degrees. Room temperature is now at 66, and of course that'll warm up as it gets more heat. And you may not be able to see that very well, but you'll also see the room temperature on the front. And the same thing is if I hit plus or minus, whether it's on there or on the remote itself. On the remote, there's a plus minus as well. I can actually see it flashing both on the front here as well on the top when it's actually set to, and it'll say set 70, and it'll go back to room 67. So, same thing with the remote. I can turn it off. I can also set the heat as well. So if I hit the heat button, fan, low, high. I can also set a time function. If I hit the timer, I can say how many hours I want it to run. So up to 12 hours. Then if you go back, it'll run it back to 0. Same thing with power, obviously. If you just click the power button here or on the remote, it'll have an 8-second cool down period. So it's not putting any heat out, but it's just cooling the system down so it doesn't stop when it's too hot so that you don't melt anything, or hurt, I should say melt, but damage anything inside the actual heater unit itself. But more than anything else, so I'll show you here with that heat going, and if I tilt it, it'll turn itself off automatically. And when you set it back up, you have to physically turn it back on for it to run again. So it's a safety function, so you're not burning the house down. And anytime you physically turn it off, it's going to do that cool down period. So last thing is storage when you're not using it. On the back side here, there is a place that you can actually store the power cord, which is just kind of a stashing section. You don't have to wind it up or anything like that. You just kind of stash everything in here. The only item that really doesn't have a stashing point or something where you can do it is the remote, but I just kind of set it up here inside the handle up here, which is a carry handle. And then I put it away for the season. This is the book that Vornado actually gives you with it as well. So it does come with instructions, and it does come with a 5-year warranty on it. So Vornado typically stands behind their products pretty well. I've had this guy for, like I said, for a little over a year now, and I really do have nothing but great things to say about it. I was actually planning on doing a review last year, but I just never got around to it. But now we're back into heating season again. Why not? Because it did me a solid justice with heating my house when I couldn't heat it with my furnace until I replaced the furnace. So it helped me out on that little pickle that I was in, and I've used it here and there ever since. So fantastic electric heater if you're looking for something for maybe secondary heat or supplemental heat in a small space where maybe you're not getting as much heat in one specific room. While you're in the room, you can throw one of these guys on. So yeah, it's a pretty solid product. I really do recommend it. It helped me out. It got me out of a pickle when my furnace went out and I had to get the furnace replaced. This helped me out to heat the spots that I needed heating. Now, same token goes though, rather than replacing a heat source, if you already have a furnace or anything, this could just be supplemental heat. So if you have a room that you need, maybe it's not getting as much heat from your furnace as others, or maybe it's not as well insulated in that specific room, or maybe in a basement room, this will allow you to put heat in that room while you're occupying it and then turn it off when you're not. So it's a little more efficient in that regard as well. It's not smart, so you can't control it with your phone. Even if I put a smart outlet on it, every time I turn it back on, I have to physically push the button. So it's not going to work in that regard. But you can only see where things are heading at least. But the technology behind it is pretty solid. So definitely check it out. If you have any questions, let me know. But I will post a link directly to the stainless steel version as well as the plastic version down below. If you do purchase those links on Amazon, you are supporting this show, just so you're aware. I am an affiliate with Amazon. But you don't, by all means, you don't have to. They did not pay me to do this. So that said, guys, thanks for checking us out. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any other questions, comment below. Subscribe to the channel, please, and like and share this guy so it gets out there. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next video.